Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. So to San Francisco we go, CBS Local. It's actually out of Oakland. And I've heard of this before, but gosh, this really strikes at some of the problems that we have with society today. It says an Oakland supermarket clerk was fired for trying to stop a shoplifter. Now, I remember back in my day, if somebody shoplifted, why, you went after them. You tried to stop them, Not because, I take such pride in being an employee of the Lucky Grocery Store, which is where this gentleman worked. It has to do with what's right and what's wrong. And if somebody steals something, why, you know what? Yay. Bring it back. That's not right. So a community now is rallying around this grocery clerk who got fired for trying to stop the crime because people can't understand why doing the right thing got him canned. And it says here, when residents of Oakland's Montclair district found out a beloved Lucky store employee of 17 years was fired for stopping a late-night shoplifter, they were outraged. Now, they all know him by his first name, Tang. Bradley White said his reward is getting fired from his job. Diane Norian, who lives in Montclair, says, I thought it was appalling. He followed the man out of the store and was spit on. Indeed, Tang was spit on by the shoplifter and then fired by his company. Lucky said it's corporate policy that employees don't physically engage with customers. Stop there. Why? Because we've become such a tort-heavy nation. We've become so sue crazy that you can't do the right thing for fear of, we're going to get sued. So I'd rather just go ahead and steal the little stuff because we don't want to get sued. It's the same concept of somebody breaks into my house and I beat the snot out of him and I hog tie him and I wait for the police to get here and he gets charged and he goes to jail. And then 6 months later, I get hit with a lawsuit because I beat the crap out of him in my house that he broke into. I mean, this is the asshattery, the buffoonery that has gripped humanity, if you will. This idiocracy that we just can't seem to shake. Back in my day, I remember when, if there was a kid that shoplifted or something like that and he got caught, he didn't necessarily go to the hooskow and do hard time. The police would take him home, shame him in front of his parents, and then his parents did the right thing and punished his ass and made him work to pay that back. That's doing the right thing. That's handling things at the lowest level possible. There's one thing in the military that was ingrained in me to the point where I will never forget it. And it's a very simple idea or concept. It's handle things at the lowest level possible. All the time. The last thing you want to do is get the cops involved. Anytime. When you involve the cops, bad things happen. We all know this. Okay? You can give me the boys in blue and the blue stripe and all the crap all you want. I don't care. Bad things happen when police get involved. And I'm not knocking the fact that there are police officers out there. There's plenty of them that do a good job, don't get me wrong. But even they find themselves in situations that have no positive outcome whatsoever. Through no fault of their own. They're just following rules, regulations, and statutes. Which, quite often, to be honest with you, make absolutely no freaking sense and are counterproductive to a society going in the right direction. Now, it goes on to say, indeed, Tang was spit on by the shoplifter. Lucky says its corporate policy is to not physically engage with customers, but in a community worried about crime, many appreciated a store employee's efforts to protect customers and trying to stop a crime from happening. Norian continues, says, in the village itself, there's been a lot of laptops stolen, purses stolen. It's frightening. I don't feel safe coming down to the village. If people police themselves, those people would think twice about robbing this stuff. It goes along the same line with, and I know all you anti-gun freaks out there are going to poop your pants. I get it. It's okay. But it goes along the same lines of, if you're armed, people will think twice about screwing with you in any way, shape, or form. Because at a base level, humans fear their own mortality. Even the most stalwart criminal, one that has dedicated himself to a life of crime, more often than not probably doesn't want to die. I mean, there are those crazies out there that just, by God, I'm just going to keep doing this until somebody kills me because I don't have the balls. But there are many people out there, many bad people out there that fear their own mortality. They do not want to die. So consequently, if they think that there's a risk that they're going to die, they're going to think twice about messing with you, and they're going to go to the person that they know that the risk doesn't exist, or maybe it's lesser, and they're willing to take it. If supermarkets, if people took it upon themselves to enforce this, and if the courts would stop the insanity and start doing things properly, like don't vilify the guy that was doing the right thing, then these problems stop tomorrow. Life as we know it in this country can return to a more sane environment, if you will. But if we keep going down this road, my friends, why don't we just let vigilantism reign supreme and let people just rob carte blanche? I mean, why in fact do we have jobs, and why do we get money to pay for that? Why do we do all that when we can just take it? I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. Tang didn't want to go on camera, but he told KPIX5 he didn't want to break the rules. He was just tired of seeing people shoplifting over and over again. Why? He takes pride in his work. He's been there 17 years. He loves his job. He hates seeing the company that's given him a job for 17 years being taken advantage of and run roughshod over, all because they don't want to get sued by these cretins. And sometimes they're not cretins. Sometimes they're people who are hungry. Sometimes they're people whose kids are hungry. And then you go and try and help these people who may be homeless or hurting. Oh, and then the police will arrest you for feeding the homeless. Do you see where I'm going with this? Friends, we create our own issues, but they're very easily solved. All it takes is holding our non-representing representatives, the bureaucrats in Washington, and the idiots on the bench of our judicial branch accountable for their idiotic, stupid, insane decisions, and we right the ship. Is it possible? Unfortunately, I don't think so. But if a little bit at a time, people take the power back that they have ceded to the government, we can and will change things for the better. But Rome wasn't built in a day, and to fix this problem isn't a quick fix either. So the road to success, my friends, is accountability. And the only way accountability happens is if we provide it. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Hashtag Wake the Flock Up. And if you'd like to email me, the email address, tdsjoe@comcast.net. Have a great day.